This is chapter number 6 in CRT class 9, page number 89. Lines and angles. Introduction. In chapter 5, you have studied that the minimum of 2 points are required to draw a line. You have also studied some axioms, and with the help of these axioms, you proved some other statements. In this chapter, you will study the properties of the angles formed when two lines intersect each other, and also the properties of the angles formed when a line intersects two or more parallel lines at a distinct points. Further, you will use these properties to prove some statements using deductive reasoning. See the appendix 1. You have already verified these statements through some activities in the earlier classes. In your daily life, you see different types of angles formed between the edges of plane surfaces. For making a similar kind of model using the plane surfaces, you need to have a thorough knowledge of angles. For instance, suppose you want to make a model of a hut to keep in the school exhibition using bamboo sticks. Imagine how you would make it. You would keep some of the sticks parallel to each other, and some sticks would be kept slanted. Whenever an architect has to draw a plan for multi-storied building, she has to draw intersecting lines and the parallel lines at different angles. Without the knowledge of the properties of these lines and angles, do you think she can draw the layouts of building? In science, you study the properties of light by drawing the rays diagram. For example, to study the refraction properties of light when it enters from one medium to the another medium, you use the properties of the intersecting lines and parallel lines. When two or more forces act on the body, you draw the diagram in which forces are represented by directed line segments. To study the net effect of the forces on the body, at that time you need to know the relation between the angles when the rays or line segments are parallel to or intersect each other. To find the height of a tower or to find the distance of a ship from the lighthouse, one need to know the angle formed between the horizontal and the line of sight. Plenty of other examples can be given when lines and angles are used in the subsequent chapter of geometry. You will be using these properties of line and angles to deduce more and more useful properties. Let us first revise the terms and the definitions related to lines and angles learned in earlier classes. 6.2 Basic terms and the definitions. Recall that a part or portion of a line with two endpoints is called the line segment, and a part of a line which one endpoint is called a ray. Note that the line segment AB is denoted by the line AB, and the point its length is denoted by AB, and the ray AB is denoted by ray AB, and a line is denoted by AB. However, we will not use this symbol and will denote the line segment AB, ray AB, length AB, and the line AB by the same symbol AB. The meaning will be the clear from the context. Sometimes small l, m, n, etc. will be used to denote lines. If three or more points lie on the same line, they are called the collinear points. Otherwise, they are called the non-collinear points. Recall that an angle is formed when two rays originate from the same endpoint. The rays making an angle are called the arms of the angle, and the endpoint is called the vertex of the angle. You have studied different type of angles such as the acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight angles, and the reflex angle in earlier classes. See the figure 6.1. All types of angles are given there. An acute angle measures between 0 degree to 90 degree, where the right angle is exactly equal to the 90 degree. An angle greater than 90 degree but less than 180 degree is called obtuse angle. Also recall that the straight angle is equal to the 180 degree. An angle which is greater than the 180 degree but less than the 360 degree is called the reflex angle. Further, two angles whose sum is 90 degree are called the complementary angle, and the two angles whose sum is 180 degree are called supplementary angles. You have also studied about adjacent angle in the earlier classes. See the figure 6.21 as 2. The two angles are adjacent if they have the common vertex, a common arms, and their common arms are the different side of the common arm. In the figure 6.2, angle ABD and the angle DBC are the adjacent angle by ray BD is their common arm and the point B is their common vertex, ray BA and the ray BC are non-common arms. Moreover, when two angles are adjacent, then their sum of always equal to the angle found by the two non-common arms. So we can write that angle ABC is equal to angle ABD plus angle DBC. Note that the angle ABC and the angle ABD are not adjacent angle. Why? Because they are non-common arms BD and BC lie on the same side of the common arm BA. If the non-common arms B and BC, as in the figure 6.2, form a line when it looks like 6.3. In case angle ABT and the angle DBC are called the linear pair of uh, angles, linear pair of angles. You may also recall the vertically opposite angles formed when two lines say AB and CD intersect each other, say at a point O. There are two pairs of vertically opposite angles. One pair is angle AOD and angle BOC. Can you find that the other pairs vertically opposite angles are given in figure 6.4. Now 6.3, intersecting lines and the non-intersecting lines. Draw two different lines PQ and the RS on a paper. You will see that you can draw them in two different ways as shown in the figure 6.51 and 6.52. Recall the notion of the lines that is extended definitely in the both direction lines PQ and the RS in the figure 6.1, intersecting line the M in the figure 6.2, the parallel lines. Note that the lengths of the common perpendiculars at different points on these parallel lines is the same. This equal length is called the distance between the two parallel lines. Next point is a pair of lines, angles. In section 6.2, you have learned the definition of some of the parts of the angle such as complementary angle, supplementary angle, adjacent angle, linear pair of angles, etc. Can you think of some relations between these angles now? Let us find out the relation between the angles formed when the rays stand on the line. Draw a figure in which the rays stand on a line as shown in the figure 6.6. Name the lines as AB and the ray on the OC. What are the angles formed at the point O? Then the angle AOC, angle BOC and the angle AOB. Can we write the angle AOC plus angle BOC is equal to angle AOB? Yes, why refer to the adjacent angle in the section 6.2? What is the measure of the angle AOB? Is it 180 degree and why? From 1 and 2, can you say that the angle AOC plus angle BOC is equal to 180 degree? Yes. From the above discussion, we can state the following action. Theorem 6.1. Theorem 6.1. If a ray stands on a line, then the sum of two adjacent angles so formed is 180. Recall that when the sum of two adjacent angles is 180, then they are called the linear pair of angles. By axiom 6.1, it is given that a ray stands on a line. From this given, we have concluded that the sum of two adjacent angles so formed one is 80 degree. Can we write axiom 6.1 in the other way? That is, that it take a conclusion of axiom 6.1 as given and the given as a conclusion, so it becomes if the sum of two adjacent angle is 180 degree, then a ray stand on a line, that is the non-common arms are form a line. If the sum of two adjacent angles is 180 degree, then the ray stands on a line, that is the non-common arms form a line. Here see the figure 6.7, adjacent angles and the different measures are there. You will find that the only 6.73 both the non-common arms lies along the ruler, that is the point AOB lies on the same line and ray OC stand on it. Also see that angle AOC plus angle COB is equal to 125 plus 55, that is 180 degree. From this, you may conclude that the statement A is true. So you can state in the form of the axiom as follows. Axiom 6.2. If the sum of two adjacent angles is 180 degree, then the non-common arms of the angles form a line. For obvious reason, the two axioms above together is called the linear pair axiom. Let us now examine the case when two lines intersect each other. Recall from earlier classes that when two lines intersect, the vertically opposite angles are equal. Let us prove this result now. See the appendix 1 for the ingredient of the proof and keep those in mind while studying in proof given below.